programming or just less art or something.
I think we're alive.
Okay, hi.
What does it mean to live, Coffee?
Well, there's an important
I
message.
stayed on the channel and it didn't say anything. It hasn't said anything or caught up or anything. I don't know if I need to
I'm
reload.
dropping 45% frames.
That's not good.
Hey,
That's
we're getting more than half.
Frames died twice.
Yes, all the frames are dying. Sekiro. It's going down now. Maybe it was just visual. I don't know.
I'm not seeing
Still not
anything.
live.
No, I reloaded and I now see the
Oh no. we're
correct
good.
name,
You
but
are-
it's playing the Genesis in the stream.
A wild monkey appeared.
Yep.
It
That's
says,
an important
okay.
message. Wild
All
monkey
right.
appeared. Wild monkey bites brutally. Don't feed him and don't fight him. Even if you fight, you can't win. This is Sekiro,
this-
everyone.
Is this in the game or is this real life?
This is real life.
Okay.
But
Is this real
this
life?
is Sekiro. That's him. Right there. It's Sekiro.
That's Dr. Sekiro to you.
So, fair warning. This is like halfway through the game, so there are going to be spoilers. If anyone
Wild
wants to
monkey
play-
bites brutality.
Yep.
Is that a person that he bites, or?
You have to play Sekiro to find out.
Oh man, Sekiro spoilers all over.
I
the
was
place.
not ready for like the big finale twist at the end where the shadow dies a third time.
Oh my god!
Alright, so
No way.
again, this
Uh-huh.
is going to be slightly spoilerish because, first of all, this is New Game Plus. I beat this game yesterday,
Uh-huh.
which by internet law.
Oh, we're all
means-
real impressed.
Yeah, by internet law, you will have to refer to me as Lord Gamer from now on.
Okay. LG for sure.
I mean, I already was, but sure.
So is this the
Lord Gamer Plus.
the Dark Souls of samurai games?
Of Tenchu games.
I don't know how to explain that because I think people are overhyping the difficulty of it.
So
I
I've
don't
seen
know.
people both saying that it is easier and harder than Dark Souls. So I
it's
don't really
exactly
know.
like Dark Souls. When you figure out
What?
a fight, it's easy. When you don't know a fight, it's hard.
Followers
Yeah.
of the on the stick media empire will remember that young Paul Norman is ridiculously good at video games and breaks them over his knee and sucks their
I
marrow
did
out
break
in like
Sekiro a
record
couple
time.
of
So
times. I found one boss that you can hang from a ledge and just chop his ankles until he dies.
Yeah,
And I
see,
also
that's...
I also
So-
managed to fall through the world at one point in the game.
nice.
So is hanging and chopping at his ankles a bug or a feature? Because wasn't there a boss in Dark Souls where you just like shot its tail from underneath
the
for
thing
like an hour?
The thing
And
to know
Yeah.
about this game, and you shouldn't do it because it takes forever to actually kill anything, is enemies don't know what to do against ledges. So if you hang from a ledge, they'll just stand there and stare at you like, what the fuck do I do now?
I want to
I
know
would
what
think you would
your
want
camo
to-
index is in this area.
75%. Anyway,
Okay.
it's like
That's
it's
good.
like Toe Jam and Earl back in the group. You just stand in the sunflowers and nobody sees you. It's
So-
exactly the same.
so just to
It kind of
combat, I'm
is
gonna fight
exactly
this
like
guy.
that, honestly. Okay,
So,
you're gonna beat up that
beat up
old
this
monk.
monk, just show the combat a little bit.
Yeah,
So
I mean
a lot
that
of,
monk didn't do anything to you, but still.
Now we're gonna stab him. So a lot of people have difficulty with the combat, and
Hi.
honestly, I was like that too. I hated this game when I first started playing it until I
Yeah, but
actually
you hate every game when you
I
first
do.
start playing it.
And then
That's
I,
And
not
then he
true.
plays it for 200
That's
hours
not
and
true.
hates it
Yeah,
again.
and
right.
I actually sat down and I learned how to play the game, and now I really love it. A few pro tips from Lord Gamer. Step 1, blocking. Blocking is instant in this game. If you're not blocking, you're playing wrong. You also recover your posture 2 times as fast if you're blocking, so if you're not doing anything, you always want to be blocking. A lot of people like playing it as Dark Souls, thinking you have stamina. You don't have stamina, so
Totally,
there's no...
it's totally the opposite of
It's
Dark
the
Souls.
complete opposite.
Whereas in Dark Souls, you want to drop your blocks so you recover
Yes.
stamina faster. Whereas,
second tip I can give...
which is the thing that I just assumed, but you- that was very
you
good
can-
information.
So,
to me.
second tip to go on to the blocking, you can cancel your attacks into a block as long as the swing doesn't come out, and that took me a while to learn. So, if you do the full swing, you're committed to that attack, but if you start in the startup, you can actually cancel the attack to a block. So, you don't want to mash the attack button, you kind of want to time it. Last tip I can give, and this is what breaks a lot of Dark Souls players, is they think they can just dash around like Bloodborne or Dark Souls and be safe.
Yeah.
Dashing sucks in this game. You want to jump. By the way, there's a jump button in this game.
There's a jump button. Yeah, so it's really weird playing this game, having played through all the various Souls games. But in most cases, at least twice. I beat all of the Dark Souls games twice, except for the third one. Because it feels like a Dark Souls game because of the way the camera is positioned and the way that the world is like built and laid out, but it doesn't really have that much in common with Dark Souls.
It's more Tenchu than Dark Souls.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I enjoy it more when it's being more like Tenchu, when you're like, it has a grappling hook and a jump button, and you can also triangle jump off of walls. You can wall jump and stuff.
You can wall jump. There's prosthetic
you
tools.
look a lot more mobile than in Dark Souls.
Oh yeah, this is nothing like it's playing like
Dark Souls.
Actually playing this is almost nothing like playing Dark Souls, and also there's. Like, Dark Souls is an RPG, it's a character building game where you can, like, that's one of the strengths of the series, is there's a lot of interesting way to build your character, and you can kind of pick and choose weapons, and you can, almost any weapon is viable if you're willing to dump enough resources into it, and, like, none of that is in this game. You have a sword, and it's your sword that you play through the whole game
This
with.
is what if you played Dark Souls, but you were forced to play every build I make in Dark Souls, because I always play this build.
Yeah, well, that build fucking sucks when you can play as a build that has a giant wooden tree club.
It's Dexterity Souls.
Yeah, so I mean, this is the thing that this is a game that I want to actually check out because
you should check it out. Because I know you don't like the Souls games, but you might like this one.
Yeah, I don't love the Souls games, but this seems a lot more character actiony, and like I'm not gonna screw myself at the beginning by, like you said, choosing the wrong character build or the wrong weapon.
That's what wikis are for, Joe.
You know,
that's what me is for. Hi, I can help you.
I don't want a game that comes with homework.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'll just tell you. I'll tell you what do you want to be. I'll tell you how to do it. But yeah, so like I've played about 2 hours of this game, and I am considering refunding it on Steam because I don't think that in this game is very reliant on. Like, when it's a stealth game, I really enjoy it when I'm, like, jumping from thing to thing and sneaking up on dudes and stabbing them in the back and using cover and things. I really was enjoying that part of the game, but the actual one-on-one or one-on 5 or 6 or 7 combat I find very frustrating because it definitely requires you to parry and have good timing, and that's not a thing that I'm very good at. And the only games that I'm successful at that take advantage of that usually give you really good on-screen feedback, a la like the Batman Arkham games, where there is like literally button prompts on the screen constantly telling you when to hit the buttons. And in this game, I just find it almost impossible to. I mean, like, the windows are broad enough that it's not impossible, but I don't feel like I'm in control of when I'm parrying and when I'm not, and when I'm taking hits and things. And I don't know that I trust myself to ever get to the point where I'll feel comfortable with that. But
so parry timing is actually very lenient in this game.
It's much more lenient than Dark Souls, yeah.
So is it?
That's good. This is anything in Dark Souls.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Is the general reception here that this is better than what was the Tecmo? It was like a samurai Dark Souls thing that Tecmo did last year.
Nioh?
Yeah, Nioh.
I never played it, but I don't know. It has.
They're very different games.
They are.
Why
totally
are you fighting a
games.
ghost?
Nioh is very literally like Dark Souls, but with a different skin on it.
The last half of this game is all like Japanese mythology, and I fucking love it.
The H in Neo at the end of the word.
Yes.
Yeah, I just like saying it that way. I think it's like Nioh.
Yeah.
So this is like God of War Japan.
It's not
finding
Nihao.
the Japanese pantheon and killing them all.
I don't know if you're killing gods. I think you're just killing like creatures or.
I mean, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil the whole game.
I mean, you are Lord Gamer. It is your right. Is that a
little characters appearing over your head?
So every time you see a red thing, it means there's a dangerous hit coming. I'll explain it after this because I actually have to concentrate.
What?
So you have 3 forms of avoiding attacks.
Some Lord Gamer you turned out to be.
I know. So the red symbol usually means you can either either avoid an attack that's going to kill you, you can jump over it, or you can do a certain counter that will just stop it and do a ton of posture damage to the enemy.
Posture damage?
So instead
Yeah,
of
it's when you slouch.
Like, he doesn't sit up straight, and scoliosis.
You won't notice for like 10 years, but then you get this pain in your neck and it just never goes away.
It's a super long-term strategy.
You've whomped on this guy for a while, and you've only taken off like
So the health bar
20%
is changed.
of
You
his
don't
health.
want to pay attention to the health. You
Yeah.
want to pay attention to the yellow bars that are filling up, because that's the real thing. Once
I
that
can go through some of that if you want to just do it.
Sure.
So every time
It's like a guard break.
every time he gets a successful parry, that yellow bar fills up, and then when that fills up all the way, you can perform a thing called a death blow. And most enemies just take 1 or 2 death blows to kill, and so their actual health meter doesn't really come into play very often.
If they take 2, it's not much of a fucking death blow, is it?
The first one is a penultimate.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the penultimate blow.
The first one is a painy blow.
to the pain.
Oh man, yeah, that really hurt. And then the second time, I was like, oh no, I'm dead.
I'm defeated.
I don't, Coffee, are there enemies that have more than 3 of those ticks?
3 is the most you'll ever see in a game.
Okay.
That's usually for like the very last enemies in the game. Most of them have 2 throughout the entire game. Some of them have 1, and then
Also,
maybe I'll
any
do
kind
one
of
those later on.
yeah, any kind of sneak attack counts as 1 death blow. Also, so like, there's a lot of dudes that you can just one-shot kill.
There are
with a
bosses
sneak
you can
attack.
sneak up on and completely skip them if you
Hey.
did.
So,
Yeah.
I
so
actually
what's
really
the-
like the way this dude moves.
I mean, it's made by the team that made the Dark Souls games, so the animations and stuff were all real good. I think that they're one of the things that I don't particularly enjoy about the Souls game, and this game has in spades, is the way that enemies will like flip to lock onto you with their attacks and stuff. Like once they're like locked in you, sometimes you will dodge and they will like instantly like turn, spin mid animation and hit you anyway, which kind of feels like bullshit. But
Because it is.
it is. But it just means that like it's how they force you to have good timing with your dodges or your blocks.
Right.
But
So
it still feels bad.
the red thing, Coffee, you said that you can dodge it in a certain way. Like, is it different from enemy to enemy, or like? How
So
does
it's
that-
different. Enemies can have multiple versions of it. So like this guy has a sweep that I can jump over, or a thrust that I can step into and counter.
Okay. And if you do that, then does it like just fill up your orange bar like all at once, or it automatically does a
if you-
counter attack, or
So
what?
if you
how does
dodge it
work?
properly, it usually leaves a big open. So there he did a thrust, or the stream will catch up, and you'll see me step on a spear and do counter. Usually leaves them open for a big hit for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have, so this game, well, it doesn't have like the RPG style character building that Dark Souls has. It does have like a skill tree, so you can sort of, you can kind of build your character a little bit. Like that thing that he does where he jumps off the spear. That's a skill that you have to buy. There's
like
one
an essential skill, though. Like you're hurting
You
yourself
don't
if you
skip
don't
that
take
one?
it.
Yeah, and then there's also a bunch of, this guy has a robot arm. Well, it's made out of bones. It's like a mechanical arm, and then you can attach different things to it. So like one is like a flamethrower, and one is like an axe that you can use to break enemy shields. I'm trying to think. I have one other one. Oh, one's just a shuriken that you can use to like draw aggro or
So
whatever. but
I have.
I'm
all
sure-
of them
I
if you
know
want
there's
to
a-
show them
I was gonna
off.
say, I'm sure there's a bunch more than
There
just
are.
those. But those are like the first 3 that you get.
So, this sort of reminds me of, have you guys heard of the game called Way of the Passive Fist? It's an indie game that came out last year. Like, the whole thing, it's like a beat 'em up, but you only have one attack, and you have to, like, dodge. You have to dodge every attack until the enemies wear themselves out, and then you just, like, poke them, and they die. Like, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting here, is, like, it's
Or like a
similar.
Bushido blade.
It's extremely defensive, you know, until you've done the thing. And once you've done the thing, then it's like
Then you're
now
like, think, done.
fucking dead. But the idea of being able to stealth up on a boss and just like murder it straight up is very appealing to me. Like that's a thing that I think is pretty dope. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to check this one out. But the move put me behind a bit. Like I still haven't finished Hitman 2, and I haven't started Devil May Cry 5, and I haven't started the new No More Heroes, and I haven't looked at this, and I have, you know, so it's just...
Look, Joe, I sympathize, but you're never going to make Lord Gamer if that kind of attitude.
You're just going to be a knave gamer.
Yeah, you're just some kind of squire gamer.
I like knave gamer better.
Edge gamer. That's yep. Ding ding ding. You fucking
Onion
found it.
gamer.
You have to take your Switch and go play in the hedge.
That sounds relaxing.
It's never been a better time to be a hedge gamer.
Unless you're playing Baba Is You, in which case you just get really.
Oh, man.
angry.
I haven't
You
played
can't
that
fucking
either.
figure
Oh,
out how
wow.
to do anything.
Baba Is You is
okay.
awesome.
It is awesome, but I'm done. I can't. I think I've hit my. I don't think I can
broke you.
finish.
Baba is
Yeah.
no longer you.
So
Yeah, I'm
if
not-
you want me to show off the different like
Some of the other
shuriken
things.
yeah, so I have the shuriken, but right now it's
You should
fully
use the
on-
grappling hook a whole bunch
I
because that's
can only
actually
use it in
that's
certain areas, unfortunately.
yeah. We'll go to one of those areas and do it a bunch because it's like the best thing in the fucking game.
So and you know they just they keep announcing cool looking indie games, and that's gonna set me behind on everything too. Because
I mean, to be fair, you're probably like 6 years behind on all the cool indie games.
yeah, well,
out there.
I mean, some of them, yeah. I still haven't played Return of Obra Dinn, but the guy who made Gunman Clive, which is like a very competent Western themed Mega Man clone,
Yeah, no. Yeah, that looks
has a thing coming out that's basically Contra and Shadow of the Colossus in one game, which is like that's. I mean,
That
that's
sounds
as
okay.
chocolate peanut butter as it can possibly get for me. So I'm gonna.
That
need to
game
pick
looks
that
good.
up.
I didn't think Gunman Clive was any great shakes, but that new one looks interesting.
I mean, I didn't like. I mean, I think there are people who like love Gunman Clive, and like So, to be fair, my experience with Gunman Clive was I think I got it when it was like a free download on the Android store. Because it was a mobile game before it was on consoles, and just like a competently playing action platformer on Android at the time, especially, was like, wow, this is. I'm shocked that this works, basically. So I give Gunman Clive a lot of leeway, but like, yeah, I mean, maybe if you played it on a console first, it's just like, oh, this is fine.
The important thing is that we're like 1 month away from.
Force looks great. is
Yes,
what I'm saying.
it does look pretty good. And I was going to say the important thing is that we're 1 month away from the next SteamWorld game.
Yeah, I heard
Oh,
that
really?
that's
What?
coming out earlier
And
than.
you know what it is, Eric?
I don't know. What is it?
It's SteamWorld Slay the Spire.
Okay.
It's a deck building RPG.
All right, I'll check that out for sure. I'm in. I mean, I've liked all of the SteamWorld games to some extent, and
Yep.
SteamWorld Dig 2 and what was the SteamWorld
Heist.
Heist?
SteamWorld
are
Heist.
two Great. I think those two
Yeah.
games are great.
I actually replayed Heist this year, and it was really good. Still,
It's so good. So good.
I mean, it's side-scrolling XCOM, so of course I like it.
Right, exactly.
See, Mike, I thought you were going to say the important thing is that Yacht Club is publishing their first game that's not developed internally, and it looks dope, and that's coming in like a month or so, I think.
Yeah, that looks all right. It's weird that we're getting another Ninja Gaiden so close after the Messenger, considering there weren't none for so many years.
Yeah,
So I'm not going to complain about it.
That one,
This-
this one looks more like Ninja Gaiden, though.
It does, and I hope that this one. I was looking at it and I was like, "Is this a Metroidvania?" And I was like, "I don't think the game. The clips that they show, the levels look very linear, so I'm thinking it's not a Metroidvania." And I hope, I honestly, would prefer it not be one, but it looks super dope either way. So I'm like pretty in on that. Also, speaking of Ninja Gaiden, I got to give a shout out to this dude, Phil Summers, who did hand-drawn Ninja Gaiden strategy guide, and originally it was just available as a PDF, but then he made physical versions, and I got my physical copy in the mail today. And it's so
is it a
cool.
poster or is it a book?
No, it's a book. It's a hand-drawn strategy guide book for Ninja Gaiden for NES, and it's
Oh well, good luck finally beating Jackio, I guess.
fantastic. I've beaten Jackio, Mike, and I've beaten the demon, and I've done it more than once. But he also did one for Contra, which sadly is not available as physical. It's only available as PDF right now. But I'm going to drop that in the chat here. Because
Oh man, this looks really cool, Poppy.
very dope.
Fighting
and-
monkeys with swords and guns.
Yeah. Oh man.
So it's like that scene from Aladdin.
Pretty much.
It's exactly, yeah. It's exactly it.
Except that he's also like swinging from these giant Buddhist statues, and I need to.
I can beat the game.
wonder if there's
Anybody
a-
can beat the game.
that is definitely not true.
That is not. Yeah.
That is absolutely not
Lord
true.
Gamer has faith in you.
Okay.
Trust
Good,
in the Lord.
that's gonna be my when I start my open my t-shirt shop. That's gonna be my first t-shirt. Lord Gamer has faith in you. I need to see if there's a mod that makes this like super easy, so I can just walk through it and look at it. Because one of the best things about playing through Dark Souls and Demon Souls was just exploring the environment.
Here's Sekiro tip number 4. You see a bunch of things gathered together, you're probably gonna die if you fight them. So
Fair.
I'm looking at like a big collection of monkeys, and it's tempting to jump into the middle of them, but they're all gonna
Collect
fight
them all.
over.
Am I hearing an echo of this stream chat
I don't know.
or
Are you?
something? I don't. I can't tell because it's quiet enough that I'm not.
All I'm hearing Coffee's analog sticks, but
Hearing some static.
It could be
I
my
hear
analog
some-
sticks.
A little chat and it sounds like someone talking or dialogue or something, but I can't tell because it's quiet.
Are there
enough.
people inside your house? Did you make
There
sure
are
that
no
the house
people
was
inside
empty
my
before you moved in?
house.
they're like
Yes.
one of the 5 people that watches our streams.
Yes.
Oh man, look at all those
Sure, the
monkeys.
house is. I mean, I guess I'm not sure because I've been up here for an hour. So
It's a pretty big house, isn't it? Could be lots of
it is a
people
fairly
hiding.
big house. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Oh man, and there's a gameplay trailer for Streets of Rage 4 this week. That's coming out soonish, I guess.
Also, Joe, I should warn you when you play this game, or if you do decide to play it,
Yeah.
the camera is still kind of fucked up in the way that Dark Souls cameras are. I would say that is a Dark Souls 3 level of Dark Souls camera, which means that it functions most of the time, but every once in a while it'll just like bounce off a wall and kill you, and you'll get mad. And there's nothing
Cool.
you can do about it. Yeah.
Sounds good. Snarkcast Productions said, "Hey everyone, still need to try this game out as I got a review copy on Steam."
Cool.
It's real good.
Yeah, you should try it out and review. Man, if they give you a review copy, you should play it and review it, man. What's going on? They're giving you free games, and you're doing nothing.
Too many games, man.
I'm glad I got this part because this is actually the boss I wanted to show off.
Mhm.
This is one of the coolest fucking bosses in the game.
Here's some rice.
So it's
Munch,
again,
munch, munch,
Street's
munch.
probably gonna be behind, but this is the first time I had like a lot of fucking fun fighting a boss. And this is what I was talking about the game. It's not always. Oop. I'm already screwing up because I'm pushing the wrong buttons.
I think what you're hearing in the background is Kurt, because I think he's trying to talk and I don't think we can hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Were you talking earlier?
I wonder if I was off by one on my muting.
Okay.
Maybe.
Check your IRQ settings.
Yeah.
So
He said he was failing because he was pushing the wrong buttons. I said that was the story of my game related.
oh boy. Retroview says, so Paprium pretty much dead. I watched a video about the break of Watermelon recently, sad news. I'm not sure that Paprium was ever alive. Like, they were promising a lot with that game, and I think there's been some speculation that it was never really real in the first place. So I don't want to feed that fire.
That was a
necessarily.
Kickstarter thing, right?
Yeah, it was a Genesis game that was a new game. It was going to have a giant, because it was the same people who made what's that RPG that came out in like 2005 and was like
Pure
the big-
Solar.
Pure Solar. This is Pure Solar. And this was a brawler, and it was going to be also huge because Pure Solar is like 65 megs or something, which Genesis game was not originally meant to be like that. And so, did that thing just fart on you?
Yes.
Okay. And it was originally.
Now we know I liked.
Yeah, it was originally meant to be this huge beat 'em up thing that was going to be the sort of most epic brawler in 16-bit history and blah blah blah. And then when they had some event where they like showed it off, and the people who were there were like, "This is not what you were showing in trailers and stuff. Like, this it doesn't work basically." And I don't really know. It seems like
Wasn't
it's
like that the Matsuno game or ogre Final Fantasy Tactics guy who was
Those are all
supposed to
the
make
same
a
guy, I
game,
Pretty
then
sure
it
those are all
turned
the
out
same
like
guy.
they weren't working on that game basically.
Yeah, I don't know, but Watermelon was only ever working on one game at a time, so I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know. But
Well, the example I'm thinking of, they were supposed to make like a Final Fantasy Tactics style game, and instead they're like, "Hey, so we made this multiplayer thing."
Didn't they make wasn't there a 3DS Final Fantasy Tactics-ish or Ogre Battle-ish thing that they made that was part of that?
I think you are thinking of Unsung Story, Mike.
Could be.
Kickstarter into the thing, and I think I remember looking at that and thinking about kickstarting it and then being very happy that I.
Yeah.
What am I thinking? What was the thing that they made that was part of? It was part of a collection in Japan, but it just got a single.
What's that game called? The one with all the dice.
You mean Crimson?
Yes.
Crimson Shroud.
Yeah.
That's a very different thing. That is a weird.
That was also the guy.
What were those on
Final
3DS?
Fantasy Tactics, right? Yeah, it was on 3DS.
Yeah, that's
was the same guy?
Mike. Mike got his name right. He's the Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, Crimson Shroud is weird. It's not bad, but it's just a strange game. It's like a tabletop RPG module converted into a video game, basically.
Yeah.
Like with very limited like animation or no animation.
Like no animation. Like everything. They're like little figures.
Yeah, they're like little
and
figures.
they wiggle. Yeah.
They're 3D models, and yeah, they put them in positions and stuff.
Right.
Decent soundtrack.
Snarkcast says the
So
Steam...
Unsung Story was that was the one that was supposed to be being built on, was like an undeveloped project that Mitsuno had come up with, and then they were going to bring it to fruition with like his guidance, but not necessarily his direct participation.
Right.
But the Kickstarter was only for like $600,000 or something like that, and it was just like, even at the time, anybody who knew anything about making video games knew that was not, like, there was no realistic way to make a Final Fantasy. Yeah, not, like, you couldn't have made Final Fantasy Tactics on that budget in 1998. I'm sure it's not going to do it in 2000.
But then also, like, when they released their...
to get, like, a publisher to sink a bunch more money in after they proved that, like, people want this. They gave us $600,000. And
right. But the thing that they did make wasn't what people signed up for, basically. It was like, we made this adjacent game that's not what we said we would
It's in the world that this other game is in. Like,
yeah, kind of. Yeah, like Evil East, don't you?
Game or something. Well, they just didn't have enough money to make. They were like, well, if we can make some money with this, then we can continue developing. And then I think eventually they passed all the, like, some other company bought all the stuff that they built. And then
yeah, recently another company did, but they basically have to start over again, right? I'm not even sure why you would buy that. You're basically buying a whole bunch of angry customers that you already owe a game to.
Right.
Yeah. So, Coffee, what's the penalty for death here? Because it seems like you died and...
You can come back to life at least once.
What do you mean, at least once?
If you look in the bottom...
How many times did the shadows die?
If you look in the bottom left of the screen, you'll see how he's got a little couple of red dots.
Yeah.
So when you die, if you don't have one of those, you're forced back to the nearest checkpoint. If you die with one of those, then you can revive yourself on the spot.
So just being the boss.
And then you can earn those by performing well. So like at some point he had like 3 of them.
The first boss, because this is the coolest part of the fucking game, and this is.
Is there more farting monkeys?
Just watch, because when I got to this part, I was just like, oh fuck, and I loved it.
I love how you just punch that giant monkey in the face.
This is the point where the game became Dark Souls.
Shinobi execution.
You know, I mean, maybe if you hadn't left that sword in him the whole time. just a thought. I mean, you know. Snarkcast says he shares his Steam account with other people who write for his website, and someone else is with him at Sekiro. So that's
oh, shit.
They gave me Devil May Cry 5 and RBI Baseball.
Now you've done it.
You know,
he's gonna beat
from what I
you with
hear,
his
that
severed
Devil May
head.
Cry game is very good. So.
That's what everybody seems to be saying.
Our friend Alex is playing through that.
Although I also didn't hate the last one as much as everybody else.
God, that last one was really fucking good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Not hating it is not. Yeah. I really.
But a lot of people I've been seeing who love 5 are like, oh, now we can forget about that crappy last one that Ninja
Devil
Theory
May
made.
Cry 2 and 4.
Yeah, right.
The crappy ones.
Those are the crappy ones. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. But
I can definitely see somebody that was looking for like the sequel to Devil May Cry 3 that they wanted to be disappointed with that game, but that game taken on its own way is just pretty awesome.
right. Agreed.
Also, if you're a big fan of Bill O'Reilly, maybe you didn't like it as much. I don't know.
Oh right, because yeah,
That's like the best sequence in that game.
I was like, what does Bill O'Reilly have to do with it? And I'm like, oh right, there was the weird Fox News equipment, and yeah.
Fight the giant evil devil talking head.
Yep.
Retro Review says, wait, game actually pauses in menu now? Hell yeah. This is not a Dark Souls game. It's a very different thing.
So can he get a death blow on you? Because you've got an orange meter at the bottom. That's fine.
No, it just leaves me open. That which means once my meter fills up, it means I can't walk for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Usually that means you're dead.
Right.
In most cases, it does mean that it's just a death blow for you, because all it takes is one hit to kill you most of the time. Even against some of the easier enemies, like the fodder enemies and stuff. Sometimes it just takes one or two hits.
Snarkcast says, I didn't mind the Ninja Theory one, but DMC 5 is really good. Well, I've been hearing.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive things.
It's on my list. I'm hoping that at some point soon, like, maybe they just kind of mellow out on releasing games. Like, I'm hoping that we hit the summer doldrums soon. Like,
I saw somebody say that more games came out last year than came out on Steam last year than came out between like
since
2004 and 2012 combined.
Well, right, but a lot of those are like, to call them shovelware would be kind, you know. So
yeah, they're asset flips and.
Right, I'm talking about like the number of games that I'm actually interested in playing.
Right. Well, that's both of those numbers go up.
Yeah, that's been true for quite a while.
5 or 6 years.
I mean, what's coming up in the next couple of months that is worth getting excited over?
New Doom.
Yeah. That's going to be a good game, but
new Wolfenstein.
I don't know if I'm going to get like excited about it. But
you know, Blazing Chrome got a new trailer because it's going to be on Game Pass the day it comes out on Xbox One, which I hope doesn't mean that it's now like only because of time an Xbox One exclusive or something.
It'll probably be on PC also, no?
I would. Well, yeah, I suppose, but I don't know if it'll be on PC in a way that I can buy it right away. You know, like it'll be on Steam, or it'll just be via like the Xbox's weird storefront, which I don't like using.
I don't know. I'm getting less loyal to Steam every day at this point.
I mean, yeah, Steam kind of sucks, but it's convenient. I mean, really,
the Epic Game Store is, as it stands right now, is not any better than Steam.
Right, especially since it like apparently snoops on all your Steam activity without your consent.
Right.
No, I would just prefer it be on Switch. Like that's what I'm hoping is the placement problem.
All games should be everywhere.
New Gears is coming. In the Valley of the Gods is coming.
Wait, is it new Gears coming?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm ready.
Is coming to the Switch. So there you
Let me play another 100 hours of Gears of War multiplayer.
Luigi's Mansion 3. The Medieval remake is coming. There's a new Ori. Psychonauts 2.
I'm interested in the new Ori because they apparently hired the guy who made that fan-made Metroid 2 remake to do level design for them.
Huh. You like that game, right?
Ori?
No.
I liked the Metroid 2 remake better than I liked Ori, I would say. I didn't actually finish it though. I played like 4 or 5 hours and never got to the end. To give it another try at some point. I don't know. I played so much Super Metroid now that I kind of don't want to play any other Metroid games.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game.
Pretty good.
It's kind of amazing. But you really have to dig into it to understand.
I think I'm good. If I was going to play one of those, I'd probably just play Hollow Knight again.
Hollow Knight is also amazing.
Mm-hmm.
My boy's been into Hollow Knight.
Hollow Knight is coming out. Hollow Knight 2 or whatever.
Well, let's not get too excited. That could still be over a year away.
Yeah, call me in 2025.
That'd be my guess. Yeah, it's going to be at earliest next year.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it, but it's not anytime soon.
Yeah.
That's all right, because you can just go back and play Hollow Knight some more, because that game's amazing and huge.
Yep.
I just recently finished my second kind of full clear, not 100%, but beating the secret boss. And it took me 13 hours instead of 36.
Yeah, once you know what to do, I don't think it's probably so bad.
I could probably get that down to like maybe 8 or something, but even so. You can finish Metroid in an hour now.
Nice.
Snarkcast says Mortal Kombat 11 is also coming out this year, which is true.
Yeah. Man, I watched the quick look for that they just streamed, and I cannot handle it. That game is disgusting.
Oh, really?
I
To the fatalities and stuff are
so
too much?
gross.
It's super bloody and super over the
I don't
top.
know. Yeah, to me it's still over the top enough, but it's
So-
not like corny with all the rib cages like the old ones were.
If you go into
I did
Sekiro,
see one
there's,
where somebody kicked somebody in the groin and their skeleton popped out of the top of their
Yeah,
head.
I mean, yeah, Cassie
That was pretty good.
Cage
That
has
was
a
pretty good.
fatality where she dick kicks you so hard your skeleton pops out of your body.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of get with that, but the ones that I saw them do were just super gross dismemberment.
Well, and they like zoom way in and go into slow mo and all that shit. So
They freeze frame at the last
Yeah.
second.
What were you trying to say, Coffee?
So, if you were worried Sekiro wasn't Dark Souls enough, that boss I just beat, so you all saw he has like a second form. It's like, oh shit,
Yeah.
he's still alive. If you know that's coming, you can keep attacking him after the first form and kill him before the second form even comes out.
Wow. So you just let us see how it was?
I love that fight. I love doing it. I wouldn't kill him early for anything. So this game does have some Dark Souls stuff in it, which I'm appreciative of, but it all comes in like the later half of the game.
Yeah, are there very many bosses? Because
This
it
entire
sort of sounds
game
like
is
people...
bosses.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Even to get like, so this game does have bosses that are proper like fog door bosses, but it also has like mini bosses, which are just like dudes that are more difficult, that are just kind of
That are
hanging
extra
out.
beefy.
Yeah,
so
they're like
any-
mini bosses, but they take multiple death blows, and they usually like lock off. Like the first boss fog door that I ran into, I couldn't open because I had to defeat the mini boss guy that was in front who had a big spear.
So anything you see that gave me a memory to boost my attack power, those are bosses. Anything else is a mini boss. So,
Could you have kicked that fucking dude off the ledge if you wanted to, or is that
there's no kick.
punched him,
There
pushed
was no
him,
sale.
knocked him off
This
the
isn't
ledge?
Sparta,
I
Joe. Come on.
could've.
But it could be Mike. It could be. So is this? So wait, why
World
isn't
seems
this
really
a
big.
Tenchu game? Do they not own
They
that?
wanted to make it a Tenchu game at first in early development, and it started becoming its own thing to where they were like, this would work as Tenchu.
I guess Tenchu didn't. I didn't play a lot of Tenchu games after the first two, so but I feel like it didn't have as many like ghouls and monsters and headless apes. So I guess
Yeah.
maybe that's why.
I mean, those were more straight up action games too. They weren't
Yeah.
like this in-depth sword fighting thing that this
I mean,
game
but you were supposed to be stealthy though. The combat in the first
Yeah.
Tenchu game is not good.
No, well, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying is that the combat is totally different. Those are just action games. This is you can't really play this game that way.
Retro Reviews. I wonder how Ghosts of Tsushima will turn out, especially compared to this game. For a while before either one of them was out, I was confusing. Like I thought they were the same game for a little
Yeah.
while. I like Sucker
What's
Punch a lot.
the other one?
though.
Sucker
Yeah.
Punch.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that.
Like I think
It
of
looked amazing, like,
the sort of
visually.
the sort of holy triumvirate of PS2 platformers. I think the Sly series was the best of them.
That's objectively wrong, but okay.
Sure, it's not what
Yeah,
the word objective
also
means,
true.
but you know, whatever.
Yeah, no, it is because it's Ratchet and Clank is the right answer, and then everything
Correct.
else is bad opinions.
So,
I'm sorry, the math
Humorous
backs
yet
up.
funny, yet also true.
And I also really liked Infamous, especially the first one.
Yeah.
It's like those games are very good. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I'm into whatever Ghost of Tsushima ends up being. I'm at least going to check it out.
Yeah.
I actually forgot a letter. It's Ghost of Sushi Man.
It's Ghost of Pepsi Man.
You play as
No actual release date yet.
Yeah, that was just a style trailer, I guess. Probably pretty far from being done. But it had some combat in.
Man. I'm kind of excited for a new Gears game. I'm ready to play more of that multiplayer again. You've said that, now I just want to go download it and play it some.
So who's behind?
Except it's like 90 gigabytes. So
is Epic doing this one again?
No, this is
right?
Yeah, it's a separate studio. It's run by, I think Rod Ferguson runs the studio, who's the guy that was headed up the other ones for Epic, but Microsoft owns Gears of War.
Yeah, it's the Coalition.
Did they make 4 as well?
Yes,
or?
they made 4.
And
then
People Can Fly
Judgment,
made
which was
Judgment.
Yeah, that was the People Can Fly ones.
Yep.
People can fly, but apparently people can't make a good Gears of War game.
Yeah,
That game
That game's fine.
I was interested based on the fact that People Can Fly was developing it because I liked Painkiller and I really liked Bulletstorm. And so I was like, this should be very good. And then Eric and I played a little bit of it at PAX in the hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
You kicked that guy off the ledge, like what? I mean,
yeah, that's the way you beat him because he's covered in armor and my sword.
You just said you can't kick. That's what you told me.
Well, you can only kick if it's a death blow. It's a death kick.
Okay.
Oh, why? That's a difference.
Sketchy.
Also, you can't pet the dogs in this game, so I'm just gonna stand there.
This is garbage.
But I was not. I mean, what I played of Gears Judgment, it felt like a Gears game, and I guess my thing about it was like, why get People Can Fly to make a game if it's just going to be like the games that they didn't make?
Yeah, it was quite a bit different than actual Gears. Which is why people generally didn't like it very much, but...
Right. I mean, I couldn't, like, kick a dude into a cactus and then pull him back with, like, a laser...
But that's just that one game. And...
Or throw shurikens and lightning at him.
I was gonna say, that's pretty similar to Painkiller in terms of tone, if nothing else.
Whatever happened to People Can Fly, anyways? Like, they released Bulletstorm
again,
and
Wild
way
9.
more expensive.
Wild 9, wow.
Yeah,
Wild 9 is the ultimate realization
it's a PlayStation
of
game with a grappling hook arm.
That's what I was gonna say. Ultimate realization of a grapple like pummeling thing.
Right. The difference is that Bulletstorm stayed fun until the end, and Wild 9 is fun for like 10 minutes.
Also a shooter and one's a third person.
So they released Judgment. They released Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition,
right? Which is just
2017.
releasing the same game for like almost the same
and
price, except like 7 years later.
Save the World.
Right. They're just owned by.
They made Fortnite Save the World.
Well, they've
Yeah.
been working on Fortnite for however long, but
Yeah, apparently they are formerly Epic Games Poland.
yeah, they don't really.
Or they were People Can Fly. They were Epic Games Poland.
Yeah.
When was that?
2013 to 2015.
Oh, it's not before.
So I guess they were People Can Fly and then became that and then went back to People Can Fly. It says they were founded in 2002.
Right. This one, like
People Can Fly is a decent name for a studio.
I think they also did the PC port.
They've only been owned. They were only a parent. Epic Games was only their parent until 2015. So.
Man, you know that thing in Trials where you're upside down and you're just hoping that you can drag yourself across the next checkpoint before your head touches the ground?
Yeah, you mean
real heartbreaking
Trials.
when you don't make it.
Yep. Chiropractor.
Supposedly they're working on a
that.
AAA quality shooter to be published by Square Enix.
What?
To an article from Polygon by Polygon from May of 2018.
They should change their name to People Can Fly, but that's about it.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out. Seems like anything Square touches withers and dies these days.
It kind of depends on your definition of withers and dies, I guess. I mean, they sold millions and millions of copies of those Tomb Raider games and then called them failures, so...
Bye, Joe.
What happened?
I don't. Joe disconnected.
Oops.
He's like offline, so I don't know if his internet
He
died.
didn't want
Or...
to see any more Sekiro because he's gonna go.
He
play
was
it
so
right now.
he heard me say Wild 9 and decided he had to run off and play it right now.
He needed to be tether some people and slam them into the ground for a while.
I had a lot of fun with Wild 9
I did too.
for like a short amount of time.
That was weird.
Hey, there's Joe.
Yeah,
back.
my VPN shit the
He's
bed.
done playing Wild
How
Hunt.
was Wild 9? Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it stopped being fun. So
Yep.
You put the guy into the laser beam and you threw that other guy into the wall, and then you kind of ran out of things to do.
that
You're
was
like,
about
yep,
it.
I've
Yeah,
done that.
that
Yep.
was
Put
it.
this guy in spikes, and now the guy's a platform. And then you do that 1,000 times, and that's Wild 9.
More like Wild 6.5, know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
They're making a Romancing Saga 3.
What?
I'm looking at Square Enix games.
Isn't that a game that exists already?
Is it a remake?
Must be. I think it's
They've done a lot of DS remakes of
Famicom
various
game.
games in that series.
I can't keep track of that shit.
I think it's a Super Famicom game.
Yeah, it's a remaster. Yeah,
I
it's
think
originally
there's
in
like a fan
95.
translation. Okay.
Yeah.
To say, I think
I'm
I played
I'm
a
allergic to
fan
anything that has the
translation
name
of that,
Saga
like,
in it.
20 years ago.
Yeah. Babylon's Fall with Platinum Games.
Oh yeah, Platinum's working on a new.
Oh, that's the one that they showed off at the Switch thing.
Yes.
It looks
I think they
like
showed off at E3 last year.
Metal Gear Revengeance
based
with
on
the
the,
serial number filed off.
Based on the Celtic Frost song.
Yes, I hope so. I hope
Thanks.
that's in there someplace.
Holy shit, I need to play a different track.
Coming soon. No, coming last week, supposedly. Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Everybody. Every space buddy. B-U-D-D-Y. Exclamation point. Nice.
I think he saw you, Coffee.
It's fine.
I don't know. I'm into this. I think I need to check this game out.
It's really cool. I don't think I can beat it. I just don't think I have it in me. I just don't know if I don't know if I just want to have to put up with it. Maybe.
You're not
I don't know if I want to.
project, you know, like
Yeah, sometimes I just want to play a video game, you know?
Yeah.
like-
Sometimes
it's like
I don't want
with
to
books.
work at it so hard.
sometimes
Yeah.
you want to read a book that's going to take you like 6 months to get through, and it's going to be real challenging. And other times, it's like
You
fuck
want
it,
to lay on the beach and read some trashy detective story or something.
yeah.
I just
What I
I
have-
just read The Lathe of Heaven.
Lathe of Heaven.
That's fucking great.
I bought right after Ursula. Is it Le Guin? Is that how you say
Le
her
Guin,
name?
yeah.
Right after she died, it was on sale on Amazon. I was like, I've never read anything by her. I should probably do that. And so I read that.
Yeah.
That book's really good.
The book is really
enjoyed it.
good.
It's also pretty, like, doesn't take very long. It only took me a couple of weeks to get through it. But
Yeah.
I've been reading
Like-
a whole bunch of those books that you were recommending recently.
oh, really?
Oh, really?
Oh, well, I know you read The Gone World. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, that one was good, although a little tense. And then I read The City in the City, which I absolutely loved.
That's the one by the Perdido Street Station guy, right?
Yes.
Yep.
China Mieville.
China Mieville, yeah.
What a name.
China Mieville don't care.
Yes. Then I read Old Man's War, which is okay, but I didn't enjoy the writing style very much. I found that Scalzi's characters all sound the same, and they all talk a little bit like they're in like a network TV sitcom at all times.
I'm not ready to invite him either. He's another.
I like some of the story stuff, but I don't know. And now
I would not advise reading any of the others then, because the style is pretty similar.
The only reason I know who he is because he has the same name as the lead singer guitarist from The Lord Weird Slough Fag, which is one of my favorite metal bands.
Really?
Yeah.
That guy's name is John Scalzi?
Yep.
Huh. Weird. Tom Scalzi.
Are you sure it's not just the same guy?
It's definitely not the same guy.
That would be the craziest fucking shit ever. Oh no, Mike. It's Mike Scalzi is the Slough Fag guy.
Okay, in the last
that's why I always get them confused. Because, like, I see that name pop up, and I'm like, oh, are they talking about this band that I like? Like, of course they're not, because nobody fucking has ever heard of that band.
I have,
but
Album of the Week one time.
Right. Which is actually a pick by Mike, I think.
It's true.
Yes, I
it was
love
based
that.
on an RPG.
I haven't really been able to get into any of their other albums to the same level, but I love that album. And most recently, I started reading the 5th season.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. It's definitely a capital F fantasy novel, but
it is
very well written and very interesting world. Someone has a degree in geology.
They like rocks a lot. Is that what that's about?
It's all about rocks and ground and tectonic movement and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But,
the world splits open, and this causes great
various issues.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
For some people, it is.
But that one I'm liking a lot.
Nice.
It's got a twist which I kind of figured out a little bit before it was revealed, and now certainly about 2 of the characters. Yes. Yeah. Which I'm honestly guessing that it's about 3 of the characters actually, but I haven't gotten to the official reveal of that, so I won't say.
Are they Gorons?
Yes.
And
they want to race Link.
Great spoilers.
It's Zelda fan fiction. Is that what the twist is?
That is the twist.
What a twist!
Yeah. You'd think you'd realize it when they roll themselves up into a ball and start spinning around.
They turn into Katamaris, and then...
Yeah, right.
Speaking of, I need to... Joe said that they had done a reprint of that.
The Katamari
vinyl?
Yeah, I think
if you want that, you better act fast.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah, I missed it the first few times, and then I forgot about it until you just
claim this the last time.
I think it went on sale today, so you might want to...
Yeah, I gotta find that link here.
I
don't know. I won't be that sad if I don't buy it, but I will buy it.
$35.
Is it a double album, I guess?
Still available. Yeah, it's double OP.
If I had a record player, I'd be all over that.
I do have a record player, but I'll probably never listen to it. But I still kind of want to own it, just because I think it has the art is good and
it's the best video game soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean it's not. I'd buy a Skull Monkeys one too if they put that out, probably.
I think we're gonna wrap up Sekiro.
Thank you for playing Sekiro, Coffee. This was very good.
I have no more questions currently about Sekiro.
How many times did the shadows die again?
A lot. I died at least like 4 times, but not really because I came back to life. That's Sekiro. It's a real good game. I'm probably gonna play it all the way through again to get the other endings, because there's a bunch of endings in the game, like Dark Souls. And I got the sad ending the first time, and I don't want to be sad.
Aw. Are there... Cool. I mean, Dark Souls doesn't really do happy endings, right?
There is... From what I've heard, there is one ending that may or may not set up for a potential sequel, and I kind of want to get that. It's considered the true ending.
Oh.
But, Yeah, that's Sekiro. It's a
There's
video.
one where you adopt a puppy at the end.
Yes, you adopt a puppy, and the puppy can't die. It's,
Better not.
I was gonna
So it
say,
doesn't
but I
take
mean, I
place
hope
in
the
the John
puppy
Wick,
doesn't die twice.
universe.
it's the one dog in the game you can pet.
Hmm.
All the others you have to stay.
And he does not go to heaven, obviously. So
No, because
Excuse me, Kurt.
can't.
All dogs go to heaven.
Not this one. It's
I mean,
it's
he's
immortal.
not. He can't die. So
That doesn't
it
matter.
Sif? Is he back?
He can come and go as he wants. as he
Spoilers. Go
there's
to-
like a doggy door on the pearly gates. Is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When you
good to know.
finally die, you go to heaven and you adopt
Guys.
a dog.
I need help.
And Doug stands outside and goes.
What do you need help with, Eric?
What do you
Where's
need
my?
help with?
I can't find my phone.
If it was up your
You
ass.
check the fridge.
That's
Chicken
Sekiro,
field.
everyone.
Well, how am I supposed to put my security code in so I can buy this Katamari soundtrack? If
The
I can't find
hardest thing about this game is finding your phone.
Your character still hasn't found it. I mean,
Does your dog have it? Or
You can't
have to
find
get the
your
good
phone
ending.
because you're in feudal Japan. They didn't invent phones back then.
All right. Well,
that's
there.
why
I
you do
bought,
the good ending.
I bought that Katamari soundtrack.
The good ending
so-
is you go to
Nice.
the
There you
picture
go.
and buy a phone and a dog.
I hope you will
Spoilers.
not regret your decision.
Alright, I'm ending.
Good
the
ass
stream.
music.
Good night,
Thanks,
everyone.
Tom.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with something.
Maybe more Sekiro.